Now at 11. A 3-alarm fire destroys the T-shirt factory at the Virginia Beach oceanfront.
2 structures have already collapsed.
Crews have been working for hours to contain the flames.
All afternoon, firefighters have not only been battling the flames, but also the heat. I'll have a check on their progress.
The smoke sending beachgoers running.
You can see the smoke, but I feel like it's getting closer and the fire's getting bigger.
Where the efforts stand tonight to put out the hot spots. We began at 11 with breaking news in Virginia Beach. Firefighters have spent the last 6 hours trying to put out this 3-alarm fire at the oceanfront. It started at the T-shirt factory on Atlantic Avenue at around 5:30. And tonight we are getting a closer look at the damage from above. You can see the flames have since spread to at least one neighboring business there. Thanks for staying up. I'm Nicole Livas.
And I'm Dan Kennedy, live at the oceanfront. It is a mess down here, Nicole. There are at least 3 businesses that are no doubt destroyed. If they weren't impacted by the fire, the heat, the water, and the smoke, well, there's not much left of them now. Fire crews have brought 2 excavators out here within the last hour, and what they're doing is they're trying to dig their way closer to the fire. In fact, we've watched as they've been digging their way into these buildings, and then we see more flames emerge. So then they get in a little closer with their fire hoses, and they attack more flames as they arise. The 3 businesses that are damaged tonight, the King of the Sea restaurant, the T-shirt factory, and the Maple Tree Pancakes and Waffles restaurant. This fire was so intense that you could smell the odor from blocks away. You could see the smoke for miles. I'm not the only one out here covering this story tonight. We have team coverage. Angelique Arentalk spoke with witnesses and people who were standing by trying to catch a glimpse of what was quite the spectacle this evening. And we also have Sarah Hammond, who's going to begin our team coverage, who spoke with the fire chief. Sarah?
Well, there have been more than 60 firefighters out here working so hard in this heat all day to try to knock these flames out. But take a look behind me, you guys. This is all that remains of the Pancake House here on the corner. When we got here around 6:30, smoke had overwhelmed the area. It has gotten much better in the hours since, but a while ago, we went up to the top of a nearby parking garage to look down below at their progress. And while we were up there, we could see the roof of this section of 3 stores had already collapsed. Tuesday afternoon, beachgoers looked up to see smoke filling the sky here at the Virginia Beach oceanfront.
I've never seen anything like it, ever, never, and the smoke is just awful.
Heather Traver lives in the apartment complex adjacent to where the fire started and says she immediately got her kids and went outside.
That's my building, and hopefully all's good, and so sorry for the businesses that it's completely lost, I'm sure.
Virginia Beach Fire Chief Ken Pravitz says they got the call around 5:15 Tuesday afternoon.
We got a call for smoke inside the T-shirt factory.
The fire has since spread to the Maple Tree Pancake House and King of the Sea restaurants. The view from the roof of a nearby parking garage showing flames coming through what was left of the roof.
Fighting this fire ever since then. We've escalated to a second alarm, pulled everybody out, went defensive. So we're operating from the outside now, and then because of the heat and high workload, we've called in a 3rd alarm.
Chief Pravitz said one firefighter was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. He says this fire has been difficult to fight because of all the void spaces.
There's multi-layer roofs in there, there's parapet walls, there's a roof that's below another roof line, so the fire is in a lot of hidden spots. Basically, we're chasing it around.
Traver says she's thinking of all the firefighters working in this heat.
It just breaks my heart. They're exhausted. It's a lot of work.
As you guys can see and hear behind us, they're still out here working hard, knocking down other parts of this building, trying to get to what's left of those flames, and it's likely going to be a long night. Dan, back to you.
Yeah, those excavators are going. They're working hard, Sarah. Thanks. I can tell you this was a massive disruption for a lot of people down here. I just talked to a father and son who can't reach their hotel room, and this is their first day visiting Virginia Beach. Angelique Arentalk also spoke with other beachgoers and business owners. Angelique picks up that part of the story.
Down here at the oceanfront, the aftermath of this fire and the response to it are hard to miss. With the summer season in full swing, a lot of vacationers are catching a glimpse at all of this. For some I spoke with, they also can't help but think of the business owners who lost their storefronts tonight. The area near Atlantic Avenue and 27th Street at the Virginia Beach oceanfront became unrecognizable Tuesday evening.
Never would have expected this in a million years.
Smoke enveloped the air for hours while crews fought an unrelenting fire. The call came in around dinner time. William Adams of Pocosin recounts what he saw.
We were at a big table and we look out and there's a burst of smoke and it's everywhere. We just see it and we were confused.
Michael Billing of Michigan recalls his family's experience.
Walked down the stairs and we smelled it immediately. It's strong, very strong. My wife was actually coughing because she thought how bad it was.
Beach firefighters fought the flames, which at times reignited. Kristen Miller of Michigan tells me about the hazy view from her room at the Holiday Inn Express.
Can't see anything past the smoke up there. So yeah, it had kind of calmed down for a few minutes, but then all of a sudden the smoke started to billow again.
The heavy emergency response at this strip mall blocked in some parked cars too.
We were stuck and we were not heading anywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of hurting us right now.
Still, families were willing to adjust or wait things out.
Trying to enjoy our vacation, but again, our hearts and thoughts go out to the families and the business owners, absolutely.
This evening, like Sarah Hammond, I also spoke with Fire Chief Ken Kravitz. He, too, is thinking about the affected business owners. He also clarifies that there is nothing dangerous or hazardous filling the air here, but he says breathing fire smoke in general is not good for your health. That's why he wants people to avoid this area as much as possible. Live at the oceanfront in Virginia Beach, Angelique Arentalk, 13 News Now.
Yeah, Angelique, you could not miss this odor if you were down here. Again, the three impacted businesses directly. The King of the Sea restaurant, which was towards the right of your screen. In the very middle, you had the T-shirt factory. And then on the very end was the Maple Tree Pancake House. All three businesses destroyed tonight. Nicole, fire investigators are going to be out here tomorrow trying to figure out what exactly caused this fire.
Yeah, Dan, and as you said earlier, certainly going to be a long night out there. Thank you, Dan. We will check back in with you in just a few minutes, and you can count on 13 News Now to keep you updated on air and online about this breaking news, this fire at the oceanfront. Remember, you can rewatch all of our coverage and catch any breaking updates on the 13 News Now Plus app. All right, let's take you back live now to the oceanfront. We have cooled off a little now that the sun is set, but it has been a hot week in Hampton Roads. And Francis, what types of temperatures were firefighters up against with this? We know it's hot out there and thick.
Yes, it's hot out there. Thankfully, we do have those dew points in the upper 60s. So you're mentioning the thick air. It's humid. If we don't have that dry air where things are quick to spark. But as far as the conditions that they were dealing with, we were seeing those temperatures around the middle to the upper 80s when they were fighting that fire. So still, it's pretty toasty out there. But we're looking at some hotter temperatures as we continue throughout this week. Right now, we're sitting with mostly clear skies, temperature sitting at 79. Your winds already starting to move in from the south. So that high pressure system starting to move eastward. And with that southerly breeze, temperatures are really going to heat up for tomorrow. As far as tonight, we're going to stay pretty much close to seasonable. Overnight lows, upper 60s to lower 70s. Dealing with mostly clear skies, we'll have another beautiful sunny day tomorrow, but temperatures are turning hotter. As I mentioned, with that southerly breeze, we're going to see things really heat up. High temperatures are going to break into the lower 90s for tomorrow afternoon. As far as the humidity, it still will be muggy, but it's going to be even more oppressive later in the week. I'll have more of those details later. Nicole?
Francis, thank you. Now an update from Virginia Beach Police. A missing man has been found safe. State Police issued a senior alert for 65-year-old Alvin Abraham this afternoon. Police were worried about him because he requires medication and no one had seen him in several hours. Police did not say where they found him, just that he is safe tonight. Next, we are back live from the Virginia Beach oceanfront following breaking news. A massive fire destroys the T-shirt factory and damages nearby restaurants. We have team coverage and an update from Virginia's Task Force 2 helping first responders in Vermont after catastrophic flooding there. New images as a state of emergency is declared. All right, fire crews are at the Oceanfront tearing down what's left of the T-shirt company in Virginia Beach after that big fire. And as you see here, this is a live picture. Those flames have reignited there in Virginia Beach. More than 75 Virginia Beach firefighters braved the heat and humidity as they battled the fierce flames today. Again, it has reignited here. Fire spread quickly through the building at 26th and Atlantic. And Dan is live out there now for us. And Dan, we just got some new information from the fire department as this just resparked.
Yeah, and you mentioned that reignition of the flames. So basically, I mentioned the excavators in my last hit so they can dig their way closer to the fire, and it's allowing them to get closer to these pockets of flames that they are finding, and then they're able to douse those flames with their hoses. This has been a monster fire for these fire crews to fight ever since it first started around 5:15. So here we are going exactly 6 hours later, and they're still working to attack some very large flames that you see here. This is what we were told was a stubborn fire by the fire chief. He said, you know, the firefighters also had to deal with the heat. They're used to working in hot weather. They trained for situations like that. When the sun went down, it kind of made things a little easier. But fighting a fire like this that spreads across 3 large businesses and 1 entire city block is never going to be easy. Nicole, as you mentioned, 75 firefighters were out here working this fire tonight, and they remain here right now.
Dan, this is going to be a long night, 6 hours later. Okay, thank you. Nicole? Francis, thank you. Next, crews are still at the scene of that 3-alarm fire in Virginia Beach, which our crews just saw partially reignite. Dan Kennedy is there now following the developments. He's going to give us one last update live from the scene. We're back with one more check on that breaking news in Virginia Beach. This is a live look there. Crews working along Atlantic Avenue. Firefighters have spent the last several hours trying to put out a 3-alarm fire at the T-shirt factory at 26th Street at the Oceanfront. Dan Kennedy has been out there for hours now. And Dan, we mentioned earlier that fire did reignite in one place.
Yeah, it did. You know, it had kind of been reigniting several times over the last few hours, the latest one coming just about 5-10 minutes ago. And you see these excavators out here. They are digging their way closer to the flames to attack what hot spots are left inside. This is essentially the only way they would be able to ensure this fire was going to get out tonight because it was so hot. Those flames were continuing to shoot up. So they brought out the excavators, and that's exactly what they're doing. So the business closest to us right now was the Maple Tree Pancake and Waffle House. In the middle was the T-shirt factory where they believe it started, and then at the end was the King of the Sea restaurant. It's taken 75 firefighters out here tonight to work this fire. Nicole, still a lot of unanswered questions, though.
Yeah, Dan, and I know there's a hotel near there, the Hyatt House, I believe, and you said you spoke to someone who's visiting town. This was their first night. They couldn't get in their room. Any update on that?
Yeah, you know, you feel so bad for this father and son, Nicole. It was their first night visiting Virginia Beach. So the Hyatts over here, they were actually staying at the hotel on this side, and they were asking us, when do you think we'll be able to get in our room? We don't have that answer. Firefighters likely to be out here throughout the night, and Nicole, the fire investigator, is going to be out here in the morning trying to answer the question of what started this blaze. A lot of people are going to want answers because this is impacting not just buildings, but livelihoods, too.
That's for sure. Certainly going to be a long night, a lot of work to be done yet. Thank you, Dan. Once again, you can count on 13 News Now to bring you breaking updates on air, online, and on our streaming app, 13 News Now Plus.
When we come back, a Washington Commanders player making a stop in the beach. Find out why linebacker Jamin Davis was at Oceana and how it was very personal to him.